This is Deborah Johnson for Women at Halftime, and I'm passionate about helping women use their untapped skills, resources, and talents to create their ideal work and lifestyle, making a difference in their second half. Hello, it's Deborah Johnson back with another episode for Women at Halftime. And what a great subject we have today. Are you feeling it's too late to start a new career at halftime? Whoa, what a great subject. And of course, this applies to men and women, not just women at halftime, because there are many thinking about doing something else. Maybe you've had a dream to do something else for a very long time. You've always wanted to do an online business, or you've always wanted to sell antiques or products. There's so many opportunities from Etsy and from eBay. There's a lot of places to be able to do this on Amazon. Oh my goodness, it's almost endless of the possibilities now. Maybe you've wanted to create online courses, not just an online business with webinars or teaching and training. Maybe you've always wanted to be a coach, maybe a tutor, or a writer of books or music. Many who have been in a career and all of a sudden they just think, you know what, this is the time I've always wanted to write all of the music that's in my head and to produce it. It's a great time of life to be able to do that. Some people want to go into the speaking profession. They've had a great career and it's a niche market, and they feel like they have a really very impactful and good message to be able to say to a certain audience. Some people may even want to open a physical shop, like retail, combined with online. I would encourage you to really niche this down, but that's definitely a possibility. Or a franchise. There are a lot of good franchises. All you need to do is look through Entrepreneur magazine, and they have a lot of possibilities there. They have all the ratings. They have what it costs. There are a lot of interesting possibilities. I would, again, encourage you to get a lot of good legal advice if going that route before investing any money. If you go in too quickly without doing all the homework, that's a tough route to go. I have known those that have not done really well with that, just because they just didn't do quite as much homework as they needed to before starting. But there are some great possibilities, so don't discount that at all. So at halftime, what happens is our physical clock is starting to tick away. We're feeling like, how many more years do I have to do really a business? And in my business, I feel like I can work for many, many more years. But many people that are at that stage of life may not want to work for a lot of years. They may just want to kind of close shop. But really, if you have work you absolutely love, you don't need to work at it all the time. It can be very part-time. It can provide extra income, a lot of extra purpose and enjoyment. And I would say, if you're going to do something, at the halftime of life is the time to at least start. Now, officially, halftime starts at the age 40. Now, it's like, I can't start anything new now. I'm right in the middle of everything. And some women are also just kind of starting their family at this stage, or they still have those young kids. I had my kids really throughout my 20s, so it was a little bit different for me at that stage of life, but it depends where you're at. But there's nothing wrong with just starting. And I like to put those principles together to make this a gradual ramp of being able to do something else, do something you absolutely, absolutely love, and really developing not only a business, but the personal connected with your professional. So we work on both sides of the game here of just your personal life and making sure those pieces are all together, working alongside with the core values of your profession. So, you may feel like you are in a little bit of that time crunch. Maybe you're feeling like you're in a very safe place. I know there are a lot of people in a place that's saying, this is a great space. I'm not happy, but why change now? Because really, I like the security. I need the benefits, and I've been here long enough. And if I can just stick it out a little bit longer, that's great. Go ahead and stick it out, but there's nothing wrong with making some other plans as well. And as you look at the big picture of your life, you want to be able to at least say, what are the possibilities of at least starting? Because as all of us know, if you never start, it's just, another year can just go by. Where are you going to be at the end of next year? But you do need to evaluate some things and what you really want to go into, and can you afford it financially? It does take some funds to start something new, at least a little bit. Doesn't have to cost a whole lot. It depends what you're going into. But what are your decisions in doing that? In some of these fields, you should have some coaching. You should have some help in really refining the product. Even putting up online courses. There are great courses to take about putting those courses on, and some resources, and you have to have the platforms up and working. So there are a lot of those now available, but there's a lot of things that you need to look at. And so that's where I really like to help you in thinking through all of those little areas of that not only the business, but of your life, and in creating your ideal lifestyle at the second half. So we're going to look at 5 things today to help you with that decision. And in saying that, is it too late? No, I would say, of course, it's not. I always say it's not too late to start a new career. But I would say do it with a mindfulness and purposefully, and that's another episode we have coming up as well. But we're gonna look at 5 things with mindset, with defining your dream, and we're gonna look at what you're doing now that'll help you develop something new, and we're gonna look at scheduling, and then we're gonna look at how to increase that. So there'll be 5 little steps to put these together today that helps you evaluate, yes, it is possible to go ahead and start this, at least start a new career at halftime. You may be in your mid-40s, you may be in your 50s, you may be in your late 50s, you may be towards 60, and that's okay. That is fine, all good and fine, and actually, yeah, that's great, because as our lifespans are increasing because of some of the medical advances that have been, we should start, and there's no reason not to. So let's talk about mindset first, because you want to be able to determine what's holding you back. And I've talked with my husband quite a bit about this, and we've talked about the sense of adventure, and in not being afraid to try something new. It's like not being afraid to go to a new place, to travel, to eat something new. That's all when I think of adventure, that's what I think of. But also when you're thinking about your second half and in your career and where you're going. And I bring in, I have a great program called Hero Mountain. We talk about this a lot in our mindsets, because that sense of adventure and reaching your peak, reaching where you want to be, is you have to be willing to be on a little bit of a trek of an adventure. So determine what's holding you back. Is it fear? Is it unhealthy fear? Because there's healthy fear as well. But is it unhealthy fear that you just can't do it. You're not able to do it. Is it your finances? Are you just totally strapped? And I would say usually there's a little way around that. So don't totally discount it because of finances. Maybe there's a mindset of always playing it safe. We just spoke about that you're just, I have to stay in this lane. I can't even think about going out from here. Maybe you have some time management issues, and this is a real issue, by the way. So you want to be able to consider this, especially if you are raising young kids. Sometimes you just have to put things on hold. There's no reason not to start. You just have to be very, very consistent, and we'll talk about that. But you do have to mind what responsibilities you have, because I was at that same mindset when I had young kids. Somebody has to raise those kids, and either you're going to let someone else do it. I wanted to be able to do it. My husband and I both wanted to be able to do it, but I took on the shouldering of that, especially during the daylight hours. And I worked then quite a bit I was doing a part-time job, and then took on others that would take me away in the evenings, and then I would do even extra work either late at night or whatever. So, and on the weekends. So we were able to work my work schedule out, a flexible work schedule out. So, understand though, that's, an important part when you are raising a family, and I will really be mindful of that. Are you not sure where to begin? Some people don't know what the first step is going to be. And the first step seems like, okay, so that's like really huge. I can't even reach that first step. And it takes some confidence to be able to do that. And of course, some are just really comfortable where they're at. They've got their warm, snuggy blanket, and they don't want to move from there. So I would encourage you to take your time with this step, this first mindset, and write out your thoughts. I am a big proponent of journaling. Take time to journal. It doesn't have to be long. In fact, my journaling, it's like a couple sentences a day sometimes. That's it. And because I know I can do it, and I know I can be regular doing it. I started on a 90-day challenge, and it got me in the habit. I've kept it up. Thousands now of entries. So, but write out your thoughts, whatever those are, and meet those. Just look at them, because sometimes when you put them in black and white like that, and they're just right in front of you, it's like, oh yeah, that's what I'm feeling. And then define what the worst that could happen would be. Maybe you'll lose a little extra time, you'll lose a little extra money, and I've taken a lot of risks. So yes, I have wasted time. I hate to waste time. But sometimes you have to be willing to do that. That is a mindset, and actually a mindset of adventure. And how many times have we started on a hike and gone on the wrong path? Okay, am I lost? How do I get back? So at least be mindful of where you're going to go. And that's number 2, is to define your dream. Doesn't have to be like totally safe, but it does need to have a possibility of succeeding. There needs to be some sort of market that you can, if you're going to sell, there needs to be somebody that would buy it, somebody that would need it, and be very, very specific on this, because this is your why, and it will be the reason you get out of bed in the morning. When there are those days that you are absolutely discouraged, you have put out your dream to the world. You have created a course, or you have opened your little online shop, and you wake up in the morning and there are no sales. There's nobody that wants it. And you're thinking, like, will this really work? I have had those feelings. I know that, thinking, does anybody really want this? Anybody? But I tell you what, as soon as that first person starts in, it's like, there's hope. So you want to be able to define this well enough that on those days that you wake up and there's nobody that has clicked, yes, I want your services, I want whatever you've got, I want, whatever business you have, that you are able to get beyond that and say, I know this can work. This is my why. I know this is a great thing that I am bringing. It could be a nonprofit that you want to start or that you are in, and it could be just not going as well as you thought. And that could be another little setback here. So make sure you understand the reason why you are pursuing a new area. Whether it is, nonprofit is and giving more time to a nonprofit is a definite viable career. And so then number 3, I want you to think through what you're doing now that will help you develop something new. So we've talked about mindset, what's holding you back. We've talked about defining your dream. That's number 2. And number 3, take the time to see, okay, what am I doing right now? What sort of skills do I have? What part of my work or my life will help me with something new? I especially think of those in the medical field. There are those that are skilled in that medical field that want to go the more naturopathic areas, even working with the physical body with some therapy there. They want to work with acupuncture. They want to work with natural oils. I did an interview with Marcia Grandal on this, on the doTERRA oils. It was great. She's an RN, and she is combining those two things together. So look and see what you're doing now, because I will guarantee you there's a little thread going through what you are doing now that will help you in the future, whether it is the experience, the skills that you've got, it is your soft skills. Do not discount those. There's a huge market that's developing even more for those in the workplace that have those soft skills, because those companies even are looking for those people that have had that experience, that have those skills to be able to partner with some of the younger generation and the younger workers. Now, they have to be willing to work together. Definitely, they have to be willing. But you have to be able to communicate with them as well. So that's going to be part of your education in how to communicate with some of those workers. But they need you. They totally need you. And again, I am passionate about working with those at halftime, especially women at halftime, because there are skills, resources, and talent not being taken advantage of. I want to encourage you in that. So find that one little area that may be unique to you. It may not be totally a unique characteristic, but I will guarantee you have something a little bit different. When I go anywhere and do just some people watching, which I love to do, it's amazing. There's no two people alike. I mean, you see people in families, of course, you can see that resemblance. Of course, I love getting those Christmas pictures and holiday cards that are, you see their kids and it's like, oh, that's a little bit of a clone here of their parents, of the combination. But really, everyone has that uniqueness also in skills. So understand you've got something special, something that is just yours. So, just affirm that. That's an important part of this process, because it will help you even as you are developing any sort of new field. And I call it, developing your little side business or your hobby that you want to be able to turn into a business. That's a great attitude, actually. You can definitely do that. There's so many possibilities. And then our next step, which will be number 4, defining what can help you develop something new. You are going to develop a small plan to start. And I want you to start with 10 minutes a day, to schedule 10 minutes a day, and add this onto something you're already doing. And this is, the term is the habit stacking from that book, Atomic Habits, which I love. I've always called it layering. And as you layer things, that's how I've done projects for years and years, and so many albums, writing the musicals, doing all that I have done. And actually, all the creating that I'm continuing to do. I love to create, just love to create. But add just 10 minutes a day. to be committed to that. It could be just 5 days a week. That's okay. Or, you can do it every day if you want, but add it on top of something you're already doing so it becomes a habit. And determine to do that and commit to doing that at least for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, you're going to add 10 minutes a day on something. So that's very doable. Even if you are under such a time crunch, I will guarantee you can find 10 minutes. And you may be thinking, I can't do anything in 10 minutes. You will be amazed what you can do in 10 minutes. If you are purposeful and if you plan, you can do a lot in 10 minutes. I have raised 3 very active sons, and I know the value of 10 minutes of alone time. I have learned that. And if you are very systematic in that, it's really pretty amazing what you can do and develop some sort of new habit. And what you will feel is that you've at least started. And then the step number 5 I will have you take is just to increase the time. You want to reevaluate. Okay, you want to see where you're at the end of that time of 10 minutes. You can pivot slightly and then add more time. So you're going to now do 20 minutes. You can find 20 minutes. I will guarantee that you can find it somewhere. It could be during a lunch hour. It could be while you're driving. What are you going to do while you drive? Please be safe. But you can do a lot when you're driving. You can record your thoughts. And just press that record and then have those transcribed. There's online tools to transcribe that. And then hire it out to be edited if you're going to start writing and doing blog posts or articles or whatever. There are little things that you can do and that you can fit that in to establish your expertise. So again, actually start. This could be developing research. This could be, your writing, of course, but just start with 20, just committing to those 10 minutes first and then 20 minutes, and at least to start, and then understand that if you are going to start some sort of new career, you may be already working in the area just a bit, especially if it's any sort of a hobby, of a craft or anything. You're already working that way. Just be a little bit more deliberate about it and thinking about it as an actual career eventually that could be developed to a career. Now, it may not develop to a total career, but you may be able to just keep it part-time. So that would be ideal as well. And that's great. That's wonderful. So, but be very, very consistent. And as you do this, you will develop the confidence it takes to keep going. And as you refine your new adventure, you want to be able to pivot and change a little bit. Very important to have that mindset as well, that you can change. So again, let's talk about our 5 areas here. I want to leave you with that. Your mindset and the mindset of an adventure, and determine what's holding you back. That's a big deal. To find out what's not working is important in any sort of business, but also find out what's not working with your mindset. What's holding you back? And define it. Put it down on paper and meet it, and at least be honest with it. Number 2, define that dream. Where do you want to be? What would you love to do? And to where you could get at the end of the next 10 years and you have no regrets. Oh, I went for it. Whether or not it works. Hopefully it will, with all the right things in place. I'd like to encourage you in that. And number 3, what are you doing now that will help you develop something new? You have some sort of skill, experience, some sort of talent. Talent is worth only so much unless you develop it, of course, but you've got something that you can do now, and then start scheduling it. And I say start with those 10 minutes. You can afford 10 minutes and increase that to 20 minutes eventually. So yes, you can. I would say you are not too old, that this, or you're not feeling too late. It's really not too late. You can start at almost any time to be able to do this. And if you don't start now, when are you going to start? So that's a great question to ask, and yourself, definitely. So thank you for being with me today. I get real excited about this subject because I really want to encourage you in taking risks. They can be safe risks, and as long as they are intentional and planned, and as you move ahead. So thank you for joining me. There is a free download for today, and you're going to love this download. It's really very, very good. It'll help you think through some of the principles we've talked about today. goalsforyourlife.com/ingredients for success. It's all together, ingredients for success, like a pie. I bake pies now and then when I can afford to eat them because I really like, especially my apple pie. Anyway, that's another subject as well. So goalsforyourlife.com/ingredients for success. So make sure you get that free download and that you join us next week. It is such a great episode. My husband, Greg, is with me. I love it when we get to do these together. I just really enjoy him, and he has such great, wise words to say. And we are on the subject, do the math. How valuable are your skills? It is a great subject. And he really approaches this as former financial advisor and professional, a registered RIA, I think that's what we call him. But he knows his numbers, and he's great at it. He's great with people. He's great at the big picture. So you are not going to want to miss that one. It's a really great episode. So I hope you join me then. And until then, I will wish you a very, very happy good week ahead. And as you evaluate and take time to evaluate your next steps, I hope you continue to have much success and happiness. Take a little risk, and it is not too late to start that new career. So just hopefully you have taken that to heart. So I will look forward to being with you again next week. Deborah Johnson with goalsforyourlife.com and womenathalftime.com. Thank you for joining us on Women at Halftime. Visit goalsforyourlife.com or womenathalftime.com for many more resources, downloads, and programs, or to get in touch with me. I'd love it if you leave me a review and tell your friends. So until next time, this is Deborah Johnson signing off.